If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side when our enemies attacked us, then they would have swallowed us up alive when their anger was kindled against us. We have escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. And I was at the age of 10, my father died, but he never died a normal death. He was killed by a group of people that we knew. Growing up as an orphan was difficult because they even took all our cows. I could not go to school for almost 6 years because of sickness and as well lack of school fees. I was forced to work so that I can get money to pay my school fees. I grew up with so much hatred and sorrow in my heart, saying that one day when I grow up, I will revenge my father's death and kill hundreds of those who killed him. Until when one day I went to church and heard someone preaching about forgiveness. And he gave an illustration of a woman who lost all her family during the Rwandan genocide. When they were at the church, then one man stood up and repented before the church and before the Lord. And he was the one who killed the family of that woman. Unfortunately, the woman was present in the church. The pastor started wondering about what will happen next. But the woman cried, but she decided to forgive the criminal. And she said, "You killed my family members, now you will become my son and my family. I will be staying with you in your house." After hearing this story, I also decided, by the grace of God, to forgive my father's killer. Since this woman could forgive someone who killed all her family members. By the way, my name is Ezra Kabagambe. I am a Ugandan by birth. I grew up in Congo, and I am from a family of 8. I am married to a beautiful lady called Patience Kabyahura. Amen. I went to official primary school in Kasenyi, a center nearby the Lake Albert, and secondary school at Nyamove, where I got my secondary school diploma in education or pedagogy. After my secondary school, I joined a business in the mining area. I was a fuel supplier in different small mining companies. I didn't realize that forgiving my father's killer was not all I needed. I thanked God until one day when my mother invited me to the intercessory's prayer at church. So I accepted her invitation, not knowing this was the way that God would use to save my life. When we reached there, the intercessors started praying. When they reached to the point of praying for unsaved people, I saw some of them crying while praying for other people. This was my first time to see such a thing. That day, I saw those people who had been sacrificing just for me and for people like me. And then I say, why can't I give my life to Christ? And this is how, this was a wonderful and unforgettable day of my life, 8th November 2011. That is how I came to understand that salvation is a gift from God through Christ. As it is written in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not the result of works, so that no one may boast. I have been praying long time to go for school, and I was waiting for scholarship, but I couldn't get one. One day I decided that it is time for me to go to school. But the problem was I had no money, and I had many other responsibilities, church and home and other things and family. I went on the internet to search for Bible University in Kampala. That is how I knew about African Bible University. I am here especially to learn more about God. After I graduate from African Bible University, I plan to serve as a pastor in my community and teach the treasures of God's Word. God bless you.
Amen. Amen.